So I'm going to go ahead and get started since I'm just doing the introduction. So, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us this evening, spending your time with us. My name is Ashley Jones, and I am with the group called Wholistically. And we have been putting on this healing series. This is our third event since September that we've been doing. And basically, it's a part of a virtual series that me and a few of my friends decided to get together to host based on a need that we saw. And so, some of the goals that we have as a group, as the Holistically group, is to just heal and strengthen the Black community as a whole across some of these borders that we have, physically, especially with this year's pandemic. Um, but we also want to strengthen the community as we have all of these events, strengthen ties within the community across, states and time zones and all of those things, and really showcase some of the experts and healers that we already have within our community. So that's just a little bit about what we're doing. If you want to follow us or and what uh, you see here today, you like it, and you want to participate in future events, just feel free to follow some of us online. We have a website and all of those things. But that's enough about me and us and what we are doing. I'm going to go ahead and introduce the two lovely ladies that will be conducting today's breakout sessions. So we have Brea Buffaloe and Ebony Black. Um, Both of them are women that I am grateful to know that I have become friends with over my years here in Charlotte, North Carolina. So, first, Ebony, she is a wellness practitioner. She has over 5 years of experience as a mental health therapist. And through her experience in that field, she wanted to expand mental health options for all of her clients and has begun offering specific services that include breathing, body movement, art, and sound. And she will be presenting the sound healing experience as a part of her breakout session today. And second, we have Brea, who is a self-proclaimed soul healer and owner of Musa Moon here in Charlotte, which is an herbal apothecary and spiritual healing store. She has based this business on her personal experiences with health and wellness and created Musa Moon with the purpose of providing alternative medicinal options to those who are seeking knowledge of self-healing. And so Musa Moon provides products that help with healing from the inside out. So Brea will not only be leading the Peace Party breakout session, but she will also be leading our introductory discussion on the importance of spiritualness and of dispelling myths about spirituality as a community. So, without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to Brea. But before I do that, I just want to remind everyone, in case you didn't get the email about suggestions for preparing for whichever breakout session you're in. So, those who will be doing the sound healing with Ebony, she asks that you find a quiet space if you can, and a speaker or headphones to hear at the best quality. And feel free to bring a pillow or blanket, just to make sure this is the most restorative um, experience as possible. And then for the peace party with Brea, she asks that you bring your favorite journal or sheets of paper, and a pen. You can bring colorful markers if you'd like, a cup of tea and or water. You can also bring crystals if you have those on hand, and just an open heart and an open mind. So, with all that said, thank you all again for joining, and I am going to turn it over to Brea.
Everyone. Can you hear me good? My sound okay? Yes? Okay, cool. So, welcome everybody. I'm so excited to share this space with you. I'm going to be talking about spirituality and no matter where you are in the journey, but I just first want to just say something that's important to me is understanding that you do not have to break up with your religion in order to be spiritual. So, understanding that your spirituality is your own personal experience, it's your own personal relationship with yourself. So, in comparison, if there is even a comparison to religion and spirituality, in my experiences, where religion, you're kind of taught how to worship, right? You're taught what to do. It's something, a lot of times it's traditions, it's been passed on from family and generations. So when you come to spirituality, it's more of what you adapt to be you. So you still can have your relationship with God, you still can have your relationship with your higher source and your relationship with self. So I just trust that you guys will come today with an extreme open mind and an open heart. A first point that I wanted to express is that spirituality isn't a one size fit all. So, releasing your comparison, there's not one person that is possible to be more spiritual than anyone else. My journey, we might have the same type of path, but our journey is different. So, we might go through some of the same experiences. However, our own purposes, our life purposes are specific to our own. So also identify, I would just say something to think about. If you're into journaling, if you have some paper or pen right now, write out for a second and identify what's important to you. And this isn't necessarily something that you'll have to answer right now. It might not even come until a week later, but just figure out what it is that is important to you within your life experience. Understanding too, there's no finish line in the journey of healing, and acceptance of self love is forever. So I think that it's a common misconception that you have to be this enlightened one, or, we're all going to reach the status of Buddha or whomever. But in reality, that journey is forever. We're forever healing. You can have the best day, you can have all of the tools, all of the healing modalities, and still wake up and be depressed tomorrow. So understanding that it changes. Things changes, experiences happen, whether your environment, whether things within family, friends, it could be foods that trigger certain things in your body. So just being open to change and realizing that this journey is forever. Understanding too that you're your best self right now. I think a lot of times, and I'm guilty as well, as realizing like, oh, I want to reach this person, as if who I am right now isn't enough. So adapting and, just accepting the truth that you are your best self. If you're not supposed to be anyone else. If you were supposed to be someone else, you will be in that position. So honoring that part of yourself, and just understanding to be present. I made a PowerPoint, but I can send it to you, Ashley, if you want to send it afterwards. So I just put a couple points on the PowerPoint. I said it's a journey of self. It's a journey of being present. So even right now, I just invite you wherever you are to kind of just to take a deep breath. Take a gentle inhale and exhale and just release. If you want to go deeper, you can breathe in for a count of 3, hold for 3, and release for a count of 7. So as you're doing a gentle inhale and exhale, it's just allowing you to kind of just being present. Notice if your feet are on the ground. How's your posture right now? Are you a little uncomfortable because this is something new for you? How are you right now? Move your body. Look how Ebony's moving. Move your neck, move your shoulders. Just like tap into your body and don't feel like you have to just be in one place. Whatever it is, maybe shake it off. Maybe something happened right before you came on this call and you're just like, I didn't really want to be here, but you might have made a commitment or something. Whatever it is, just like be present. And that's with anything in your spiritual journey. Like be in the right now so you don't have to regret things later. Understanding that seek the truth, not being afraid of asking questions, because a lot of times I would even say within religion and in, yes, you can, even in religion, it's like you can't fault your parent or fault like family members or friends, because in a lot of times they weren't taught to ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. If something doesn't feel good, take that deep breath like we kind of took and ground yourself, and don't be afraid to seek the truth within yourself. And incorporating self-care. What does self-care look like for you? These are all different things. So going back to like spirituality isn't a one size fit all. It can be all of these things. Maybe you can pick 2 things I'm talking about to focus on. Maybe it looks like meditating. And then releasing the discomfort in meditation. It doesn't have to be 15 minutes. It doesn't have to be 30 minutes. Meditating can literally be, we close our eyes and we just think about something that we're grateful for. It doesn't have to be long. Even if you fall asleep during meditation, that's still meditating. Traveling, expanding your reality, trying something new, or even inviting the idea that life exists further than what our mind can reach. Or maybe it's yoga and understanding that yoga is a physical and it's an internal practice. So maybe it's only a mental practice for you. You never actually hit the mat. Yoga can also be how you treat people. How do you treat yourself? How do you speak? What are you putting into your body? So, understanding that, again, spirituality can be what it is that you make it with your relationship with God, your prayer, your devotion, whatever that looks like. You can create that within you and your higher source and remain extremely unapologetic in it. And um, three three things to close with: relationships, values, and your purpose. So, looking at your relationships, how are you viewing yourself? What are you telling yourself? How are you loving yourself? What do you say to yourself when you look in the mirror when you wake up every day? What do you tell yourself when you look in the mirror after a long day? Are you telling yourself that you're beautiful? Are you telling yourself that you did a great job? How are you speaking to yourself, right? Externally, how do you relate to others? How do you support people? How do you allow people to support you? How are you showing up to people around you? What does your circle look like? Are you setting boundaries? Are you being unapologetic? Like, are you being like, you know what? I love you, but you're not in this journey right now. What does that look like to love from a distance? And your values. What is important to you? How do you measure your peace and the things around you? Like, are you weighing things? Are you releasing the ideas of good and bad and just accepting that things just are? And your life purpose. Why are you here? Ask yourself this. Why are you getting up right now? Why are you going to that job? Why are you existing? Because you can stay in the bed, you can do nothing, but you get up every day. So continue to ask yourself, what am I here for? And then ask yourself what feels good to you. Letting go of the connection or the habit of depriving yourself and really just coming into you. So I welcome you. I look forward to your journey and evolving within spirituality, and just release any pressures, release any needs to compare yourself to anyone, and really just journal. Like I said, what are you here for? What's important to you? And what do you need to feel connected to God the most?
All right. Thank you for that, Brea. Thank you for that great introduction. So now we are going to go into our different breakout sessions. So please enjoy the rest of this session, and we'll see you on the other side for a closing discussion and questions.
Interrupting. Ashley, do you mind saying yours one more time? I was
Sure.
trying.
So again, my name is Ashley. I'm working on not judging myself too harshly or holding on to feelings of guilt. And I'm working on being more disciplined in my day-to-day life.
Yes. What does it look like for you to actually be gentle to yourself? What does it actually look like for you really to be disciplined? What would that look like?
Um, ooh. It would probably be, ooh,
That's me. My bad.
okay. Is it
Okay.
good now?
Yeah, better.
Okay. It will probably be, I guess not that I let things slide all the time, but that I acknowledge, okay, I missed the mark here, but I don't hold on to it because then that ends up hindering me from trying again later on. So
Mm,
it's kind of like, hey, I missed the mark this time, but, let's do better next time. And then as far as discipline, I guess not giving into my feelings so easily. Like it's fine
mm,
to be gentle with myself, but if if there's a plate there that needs to be washed, just go ahead and
Mhm.
wash it right now instead
Okay.
of just putting it in the sink.
Right. But what would that look like? What would that look like for you to actually be super connected to your feelings? So you said not to really go too deep into your feelings, right?
Well, I guess that's the thing is I feel like I'm pretty in tune with my feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but sometimes I let them run rampant a little bit. So it's kind
Okay.
of like not like I'm neglecting my feelings or
Mm-hmm.
in that way, but distinguishing between, the feelings that are important and the ones that, maybe not so much, if that makes
Okay. Yeah, I feel you, but I also support you. Ad, ad, I would say adopting that they're all important, whether they're uncomfortable or not. So actually honing in on those uncomfortable feelings even more than the ones that are just easy, right? Because it's like there's always growth in being uncomfortable. So whatever those feelings are, it's like, one feeling isn't more than the other. You felt it for a reason. You might not understand why you felt that way. It might not make sense. And it might not even come like in a week from now, but it's like, yeah, this feeling, I'm feeling it. I don't really like it. I don't really feel like it's necessary, but it's here. So I honor that feeling in whatever way. But yeah, just definitely, being unapologetic, but I support it. I also support, a dish being left in the sink until the next day sometime too.
sense.
Thank you for sharing. Who's next?
I'll go next.
Okay.
So, Mimi on screen, that's what most people call me. My name's Amelia. Um, what were you asking again?
Something that you would like to release, maybe a thought or a habit, and something that you're working on within self.
Um, as I was listening to Ashley and thinking about the question, I lived a long time, so I got through a lot of these things. But thinking about it, I probably need to release trying to be everything for everybody. I mean,
Ooh,
I like
ooh. I felt that.
it's hard. But the thing is, it's very difficult because I like doing things for people and then
Mhm.
I just take on too much and then I'm doing, yeah. It's like I like it, but then I'm like, oh, I can't do it.
Yes.
Hmm.
I love that you said that because I think that we all in some way experience that, right? But it's like it's self sabotaging to think that we can be everything for everyone, and there's some type of like peace in saying no. And it feels good, really. Like it really does. Once we can get out of being uncomfortable, it's
Yeah.
like, okay, that felt good because really I didn't feel like it. Although I really do want to help them and it's probably within my means to help them. Does it really serve me in this moment? Right. And then I don't know, I think about it in love too. Like even with not trying to be like super, I think with attachments too, because it's like even like when we realize that we can't be everything for everyone, we also realize that one person can't be everything for us as well. So it's like, okay, what would that look like for you?
Uh, what would it look like to get there to where I'm
Yeah.
not? Um, One point you made, it's interesting. I'm trying to do everything for everybody, but I don't necessarily expect others to be everything for me. But I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I guess it would feel like me still doing some of the things I want to do, which would have
Mm-hmm.
a lot to do with doing things for others and for myself. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but to the point where they wouldn't be bumping into each other.
Okay. I
And
like that.
I recognize that I've been like this all my life. I can remember one specific incident when I was probably a preteen. And I think my aunt, who's my godmother, they were going somewhere. And then my church group, which were most of my close friends, were doing something else. I wanted to do both. In two places at one time. And I've always struggled with just wanting to do it all. And so that's grown into, oh, okay, doing all these things and running here and there. But I
Mhm.
think what I have to do is do those things that are for others, but that I also want to do, and let go of those things that are for
Mhm.
others that I don't necessarily want to do.
Yes. And I was going to ask you, have you ever like tried to like pull yourself in so many different ways that you were so exhausted that you couldn't do anything?
Mm, I perfected this doing everything.
Okay.
I don't know. I may have.
hmm
I've never just shut down to where I've just done nothing. That's never happened to me.
Okay. Well, I support you and or I challenge you to more mindless and doing nothing. And
Yeah.
just like, you
Okay.
know, and just, write out mindless things. Like what's something that doesn't require much from you, but is still fulfilling to you. So, yeah, just adapting to more mindless things. Oh, what's your favorite mindless thing right now?
My favorite mindless thing.
Mm-hmm.
I can sit in quietness. Now, I was going to say one thing I did do recently, just to pull away, was I took off on election day. Didn't turn
Ooh.
on the TV, didn't look at the phone, didn't look at
Mhm.
anything, and didn't look back on any media until the next day, about midday or in the afternoon. And it was odd for me, just to do that, shut everything out, but it was really good. Off too. So I didn't do work, so I didn't have to get on the work computer,
Mhm.
and I want to do that again.
Yes. And that is so self care too, because it's like we don't even realize that when we have like the media, we have our phone, we have other people's opinions, we have other people's feelings, their fears, their anxieties. Sometimes they become our own. So even that we might not be feeling like it is anxiety, but maybe our stomach starts hurting, or maybe our body is starting to respond differently to our food. And it could be because that's someone else's energy that came in. So I think that's amazing that you did that, because it was stressful during that time. My parents kept like, they
Mm.
had like a TV in almost every room, and every room had something to do with it. Like I legit didn't go to their house because I just didn't want to hear it. So that's cool.
Yeah, that was good. It was really
Thank you.
good.
Atara?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Um, my thing is doing everything. Um, even when people ask me for help or whatever, I'd be like, "No, I got it."
Mm-hmm.
Thanksgiving, I was doing the same thing. I actually was doing working my job at home and actually cooking at the same time, and everybody was like, "Do you need me to do something?" No, sit down. I'm good. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's my problem. I have to do everything, even with my kids. I tell them clean up. If they're not doing it right, I take it from them and do it. So that's just me. So
Yes.
yeah, that's my biggest thing that I need to release.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then, it's cool to be able to do everything, but then going back to that self sabotage and even deeper,
yeah,
I think about it as, when you don't allow people to do for you and to support you, in a
hmm
sense, you're blocking their blessings because you never know what God sent
yeah,
them in to do for you. And it's like, you're like, oh no, I got it. I got it. And it's like, you're
yeah,
kind of being closed, but what would it look like for you to be open?
yeah,
Like, yes, help me. Yes, I need help.
yeah. Oh, I
I
get
challenge
yelled
you
at by
to
my
make a
son.
list. You say your son keeps yelling at you?
Yeah, she'd be like, "Move, I got it. No, go sit down. You just move." So he
Good,
does it all the time. He'd be like, "Just move out the way."
good. But I just wanted to challenge you to make a list, and it doesn't have to be done right now. But just write out
hmm
how. how you can be, what do you need? What do you need to be
Yeah.
supported? Like, what do you need help with? And it could be small. What do you need help with at work? What do you need help with at home? Is there something with your car? Is it, something picked up from the store? What is it? Is it something that you've been wanting to move in your house and you haven't moved because you just haven't gotten to it? Like, make a list of things that someone can help you with. And then releasing it. Go get you some tea, whatever, if you like to, whatever. And just kind of put your feet up. Be unapologetic about it. I was just reading earlier and it was like, society has taught us that it's lazy to do nothing. It's lazy to have self-care. And
Yeah.
it's like, write out what's the perfect day for you. What's the perfect day with no work? What does that look like? What would you be doing? Would you be getting a pedicure? Would you be soaking in the bathtub? What would that look like?
Actually, though, that is my thing. I always say I go get my hair fixed, without anybody around. Go get a pet. Usually I go get a pedicure and stuff with my daughter, but that's our me time. We try, I try to do that at least once a month. So I do try, but yeah.
No worries. And then what would that look like? How would you feel? Like if you can envision Atara wholeheartedly letting people do work for her, not trying to do everything, really probably not even doing nothing, like actually being able to delegate all the tasks and everything still getting done. What would it look like to have that trust?
Um, it would just be a day, maybe me reading or not doing anything, just watching TV or something.
Okay.
That would be me.
Okay.
Because I can't even do that. It's like I can't sit still for nothing. So yeah, that will probably be something that I'll do.
Okay. I like that. So does everyone have a pen and a paper? You guys ready to do some journaling a little bit? Okay. So let's first write out 10 things that make us happy. And it doesn't have to be super big. It can be my bed being made before I get in the bed makes me happy. So don't think it has to be like too crazy. Atari, still good? You thinking? I think it might have froze on me. It was like my camera had
Yeah.
froze if you like this.
Yeah. No, that was me.
Okay.
Yeah, I only got 4.
4? Okay, it's all right. I'm only at 7, so okay.
Okay.
Ashley, you done? You got all 10? Okay.
I added a few more because I think some of them were the same, basically.
It's okay. Yeah, keep going through. I honestly, like you said, I went through 2. I went to 14. I was like, okay, let me check in. I'm like, okay, and like, not being pressured. Sometimes it gets hard. And the other days you're like, okay, I know exactly what it takes.
Mhm.
Mimi, how are you doing? You finished all 10?
I got 10, but like Ashley, I've got some things that
Okay.
sound kind of repetitive. They're slightly different, but repetitive.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Atara, did you get past that 4? It's okay. And we're going to share. So if you want to go last or, it might develop like hearing what someone else says. You're like, okay, actually, that makes me happy too.
Okay.
Anyone want to share first their list?
So, um, let's see if they did this before. So I put sunshine, clean bedroom, kind of like you said, comfy bed, so like comfy comforters, really snuggly, chocolate cookies and brownies.
Mm.
This next one is kind of like free time to work on creative projects.
Mm-hmm.
And newlywed, so I said my husband, not
Go
having
girl.
um, dancing and music, which I think kind of go hand in hand. And then I have a blog where I've been doing like interviews of people that I know, and that's been really good for me. Just kind of like those quality conversations where you're getting to know people that you already know on a deeper level.
Mm-hmm. So with those, how many of those can you do every day?
Well, the sunshine, I can't control that, right? So
Right.
that the clean room and comfy bed, that's something that I kind of have control over. I usually can make my bed in the morning, and that always, kind of makes the whole room look better, no matter what state it is. So that's good. Probably shouldn't have cookies and brownies every day,
I mean,
but I could if I wanted to.
mm-hmm.
Let's see, the working on creative projects, that's something I'm not sure if I could do it every day, but I have been kind of increasing my time on that. And I think before I was kind of like um, letting perfectionism kind of hinder me from that, but I'm learning to be better at just going ahead and trying something out. even if it doesn't come out the way I expect it to. So that,
because what does it mean to be perfect? Like, when you say something is perfect, what are we comparing it to? Are you comparing it to something else? Like,
I guess when I say perfect, I don't know. I guess for things to look like really neat and clean is what I'm
okay.
talking about. Because it's like a lot of the stuff that I've been doing recently is kind of like decorations for around the house. So, like, I made some floor pillows last weekend, and they're not like there's some stuff that I need to fix with them, but they're good enough for now.
Okay.
So, kind of getting over it. Yeah, just kind of like that perfectionist idea,
I
and
love that.
going ahead and trying something out.
Okay. So would you say you're like into the minimalist type of?
Yeah, I definitely was for a while. I think
Okay.
I need to, or not that I need to, but I would like to kind of do the whole cycle again where I go through my stuff and kind of downsize a little bit.
Like the Marie Kondo?
I don't know if I'm that far into it.
I've never been able to start.
Not like that. No, I did it was actually kind of like this online course or something a few years back where it's like you basically start with small areas. So like you start with your car, and so you clean out your car and you know, only put stuff in there that makes sense for it to be there, and then you go basically room by room and like a few cycles of each room if you need to, and just kind of start getting rid of small things that either you don't use or you don't want anymore, or that's broken that you can't get fixed, stuff like that. And so it's not necessarily about getting rid of everything. I think to me it's just kind of like keeping things that actually matter to you, and that you need, and that, you know, make your space feel, you know, welcoming and that you like. So yeah.
Okay.
Not
I
just
like
hoarding stuff because
that.
it's hard.
Look, I'm like, yeah, I wrote that down. Only keeping what makes sense in that room. So thank you. I had to write that down.
Yeah,
Whew.
I had a big issue with, you know, keeping, like, adding sentimental value to everything. And so kind of had to learn how to not do that, because there was a lot of things that I had picked up, like just trinkets and stuff that, you know, in my head, like it has sentimental value to like a person or like an experience. But the truth of the matter was I was never going back to look at it. Like it was just space and
Right.
chunking up everything. So it's kind of like allowing yourself to release that a little bit. And in a way, you're kind of releasing emotional baggage too with some of that stuff, and allowing it to bring joy to somebody else. So that's one.
Yes. That's everything. Everything is like, oh, this was special. Oh, this made me think of this. But yeah, that's cool. Who's next?
Captain. Things was my kids, my friends, my family. I like cooking and baking, peace, station, clean, good smelling home, reading, shopping, and basically family activities.
Okay. What did you say after cooking?
Okay, I said cooking and baking,
Oh, baking. Okay.
peace, meditation, clean, good smelling home, reading, shopping, family. I already said that one. Family activities.
So what do you like to bake? Like, or out of the whole list? Well, okay, wait. I'll ask what do you like to bake, and then I'll ask you another. I'm like, so
Okay,
many.
I bake anything. pies, cakes, cookies, anything. I basically took all my grandmother's recipes, and I've been trying to perfect those. Some I gave up on, some I didn't. So, but yeah, I'll bake anything.
I'm coming to your house.
Okay, now.
That's I'm like, yeah.
Look, please do. My kids don't know how to eat. They switch up every month what they like to eat and what they don't.
I think that's so important, and I think it's so beautiful that you have that. I think when, like, our matriarchs, pass away, and it's like, we don't have anything. We just
Mm-hmm.
had like certain things. So I think that's so cool that you have that. I was gonna
Yeah.
ask, within your list, which one makes you the happiest?
Um, I think the family activities with is my biggest thing. Um, taking the kids to go somewhere. Everybody goes as a family, or my friends, her friends come along. Me doing
Mhm.
stuff at the house, like just decided to have friends and family game night for on Christmas Eve. So I'll probably cook and we just have play games, and then every year I let the kids bake cookies from scratch. So I think that's gonna be our new norm. So I like doing stuff like that.
Is it like a recipe that you're following with the cookies from scratch? I love that. I'm like, I must
Yes.
be hungry.
Well, usually with that, I'll do like the sugar cookies, and I just pull that offline for them to follow. But I let them do it on their own. So yeah, I just be there to assist when they need help. But yeah, I just print them all for them, and they do it themselves.
I love that. But yeah, I think it's amazing. And just to have like the family involvement, and it just shows that like that's a very big part of you and your core. How many
Yeah,
children do you have, and what are
I,
their ages?
yeah, I have two. I have my son, he will be 20 on Sunday, and my daughter is 9.
Okay. Oh, you started over.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Mhm.
Okay. So, excuse me. How did that feel with you guys writing that? What made you happy? Oh, and then you didn't go. You didn't go yet.
No, I didn't go.
Okay.
Not a crossover, seems like it. So what makes me happy? Talking to my daughters and my new son-in-law, and talking to friends and family, and sometimes just sitting and quiet, looking out the window. I'm surrounded by nature, so sometimes I sit and look out at the trees at different stages, different seasons. Um, Praying,
Mhm.
just getting, just talking. Okay. A lot of times I do that when I'm out walking early in the morning.
Mhm.
And it's just a talking. And sometimes I get real silly with it. It's just, I just talk. I realize, a lot of times people think that you have to do a certain thing, certain posture to talk to God. But no, I just talk about everything. Sometimes I kind of laugh and go, wow, God, you must be silly.
I
So
love that.
I like doing nothing in a clean, pleasant environment. So I do like, try to keep it neat because I can't just sit and do nothing if I see something that needs to be done. Um,
Mhm.
I like to read a good book sometimes. I've done a lot of that lately. I like watching good TV show sometimes, makes me happy. Sometimes listening to old music will make me happy, remind me of things that were fun and happy. Um, Line dancing because I'm not so coordinated with this line dancing, so that I can do. Some travel, but travel can be heavy. I like to travel.
Mhm.
You can just go and just do things, and not all the hustle bustle of preparing, and you have to have a vacation before and afterwards to get out of it. Um,
Definitely.
then I added, I think, a couple more on after listening because I do like sweets as well. I can't just say baking cookies and brownies, all kinds of sweets, too much. And accomplishing things makes me happy. So
Mhm.
recipe, making something that I've never done before, because it's like I'll get 10 steps, but then once I've done it, I'm like, yes, I did it.
I love that.
When I have time to garden or time to do something that I want to make and it comes out nice or I get it done, that makes me happy.
Yes, I love that. I had to write one down with creating. But my question for you, and you kind of answered it, but I wanted to know, like, when you talk to God, when you feel like you're in your prayer space, are you more of an internal prayer or are you a vocal? Do you speak out loud with it more?
Both. That's
Okay.
what sometimes it changes, it varies. Sometimes I'm out walking, I might singing or but both
Mhm.
internal out loud. It just depends on the time.
I love that because it's just like, your relationship, like you said, to guys, like we can laugh. It doesn't have to look the same for everybody, right? Like it's not just one place. I think sometimes people think that, oh, we have to be in a church or, we have to be on our knees. But it's like, you can pray while you sitting in the bed, if you're in the car, if you're cooking, like any moment, there's no limit to when you talk to God. So I thought that was really important.
Yeah.
So I did a couple more than 10. I said making my bed, having fresh sheets. I just washed my sheets yesterday and it felt great. So I used to try to do it like every week, but sometimes it goes a little longer than a week. But I try to do it like every like Monday, um, would be like my self-care day to wash. Um, I put washed clothes and folded and hung up because right now that's not really my reality. I live out of Pampers a lot of times and piles, so it makes me happy. So I'm like, okay, with this happiness list, I'm gonna actually like work on it each day with something. I put a tasteful vegan and gluten-free meal. I said reading, being organized, having up to date with my shipping orders and things in the store, so it doesn't get to the point of people being like, "Where's my stuff?" and things like that. That would just make me be frantic. Being near water. That's one thing I missed about being home. I'm from Virginia originally, Virginia Beach area, like the Tidewater. And I'm like, we didn't have the cleanest water, but we still had water. I could still go and just listen. So being in Charlotte, we have a lake, but it's just not the same. But so, just water really makes me feel good. Moose's health, since being home, he has not been sick. I'm grateful for it. When he was in like daycare, he was getting sick like every 2 weeks, no matter what it was. This time last year, he was in the hospital for about 3 days. So I'm grateful that, although like a lot of people have had, just discomfort and pain during this time, that, he's been protected. um, Feeling loved and appreciated. Meaningful conversations make me happy. Learning new words. Like I used to be the type that would keep like a thesaurus in my purse, like a little personal one, and I would just open it. I don't know, it's something about learning a new word that makes me so excited. And just new experiences in general, but really new words really makes me happy. Traveling makes me happy, and completing, what Mimi said, completing a DIY, like something I've never tried before, and I actually do it and it works, like that brings so much joy. So thank you, because I didn't realize that was something that really made me happy as well. So how was this list? Like once you got past the initial, like being unapologetic with things just being solely about you, how did it feel to actually write out your happiness list?
Uh, it made me realize and listening to y'all too that I have a lot more things, that I could be happy. I am happy for. A lot of stuff that y'all said, I forgot, especially the water part. I love that is my calming
Mm-hmm.
of the water, and this COVID season really put a damper on that. I haven't been nowhere. But yeah, but it really got me thinking about things that make me happy.
Mm-hmm. and just really being unapologetic in it. I remember a time in college, and I don't even remember why I was sad, but I called my friend and I was crying, and they provided me a safe space. But then they asked me, and they were like, "But Brea, like, what did you do to be happy?" And it really resonated with me because we're so entitled. And it's not to say that we're wrong for it, but I think that's just how society has brought us up. We wake up every day and just expect to be happy. We expect to be, healthy. But it's like, no, you actually have to do the work. So I love doing this exercise because it's like moments when you find yourself stressed, you find yourself feeling incomplete or less than who you are or whatever, you can go back to this list, but also realizing that the list can change. Just because these things make you happy tomorrow, they might not make you happy, but also knowing that you have tools. So when you're just feeling like, oh, I just can't figure it out, just pick one thing. And it's like, okay. It's really that, not to say that simple to discredit, but it really can be that simple, to change your thought process or to change your existence. So it's the full moon right now. If you're into the moon, that's something else that's a little kind of into spirituality. The moon has phases. I love the moon because, just how the moon has phases, we have phases too. It changes, it rests. Well, really, I guess the moon doesn't rest because when it's the moon here, it's the sun there. So I guess I can't really say it rests, but it changes, right? It has many phases. Well, it's the waning gibbous, the waxing gibbous, the full moon, quarter moon, new moon, whatever it is. But it's a full moon right now. It's a full moon in Gemini. If you're into your astrology, but the full moon is all about letting go. It's about releasing and making space. Something else to consider if you're a person that loves to pray and ask God for things and you realize that things aren't coming, or if you're a person that manifests and you're realizing that things aren't really happening and you're like, okay, I'm doing everything right, God. I'm doing this. I'm honest. I'm being as the best person that I can be. But a lot of times we don't have space for it. It could be trauma. It could be just self-sabotaging thoughts, just things that just don't serve us, that could be filling our space. So something that I love to do during the full moon, if you're ready to journal a little bit again, what's a good number? What number feels good to you guys?
7.
Okay, yes, so 7 was in my mind. Thanks for confirmation. You guys okay with 7? Good. Okay, so excuse me, let's write down 7 things that we're going to release. That can be thoughts, habits, whatever. Just 7 things that no longer serve you. It can be 7 people you need to forgive. It can be whatever that just you want to release from your existence. Okay. Does anyone need some more time?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna get there though to 7.
You say you didn't get to 7?
No.
It's okay. Ashley, you want to share, or anyone that wants to share first? You can. I saw you put your notebook down first.
Yeah, I can go.
Okay.
So my first one is I guess guilt about lost relationships. So um when I say that, I'm thinking back to like past friendships that, maybe, ended not on the greatest terms, or, we grew apart and things like that. And for a long time I've held on to that. So it's kind of like, what could I have done differently? But you can't change the past. So it's like, how do I release the guilt about that? Um,
That's important. So how do you cope with that? Because I can relate to that, but I kind of just be like you said, like I guess it just wasn't.
yeah, I don't know, honestly. Like, that's something I still kind of deal with. Like, over time, it gets quote unquote better, but um, I just try to remind myself that I did what I thought was the best thing at the time. And I think I've identified those parts of me that, maybe I had to work on, that I wasn't aware of at the time, um, and how, like, that's not something that I would do now. Like, I'm better now. Like, I've noticed the pattern and I've been addressing it. So kind of like that. But I don't know fully how to like fully release it just yet.
That's fair.
Um, the next one I have is like comparison to others, which ends up either resulting in like, those tinges of jealousy, or like you're not feeling not good enough. Um, I said selfishness or entitlement. Um, and when I say that, I think just being more aware of what other people are going through, especially now, and trying to find more tangible ways to help where I can. Um, I put releasing boundaries, or like the fear of trying new things. So that kind of goes back to when I was talking about my creative projects, like not getting all in my head about doing it perfectly, and just going ahead and trying it and having fun with it instead of beating myself up about it. Over analyzing. So um, So yeah, just kind of getting out of my head about some things, because I feel like I start thinking too deep about things, and then you end up not really enjoying it, some of the things that you're supposed to be enjoying in life. So getting rid of that. I said bad habits, and when I said that, it's kind of like things that I've been trying to change or improve upon. So like making sure I'm not just spending a lot of money for no reason. Um, Making sure that well, one thing is I want to like wake up earlier, so trying to wake up a little bit earlier than I do right now on a daily basis. And then the last one I had is negative mental images of myself. So and that kind of comes from like it was like a couple of days ago where you know those days where you just kind of wake up and you look in the mirror and you're like, I like who I am. Like I feel beautiful and like there's somewhere that I want to stay. And I realize that that's not always where I am. So it's kind of like releasing those those really negative thoughts that, you know, I may have been holding on to about myself. That's it.
I love that. I love all of it. And I resonated in many ways, especially with the one of not like, I would tell people like, it's not that I'm like super self-conscious and maybe there is an insecurity, but I don't always feel beautiful. You know, when I look in the mirror, I don't always feel good. And I don't necessarily feel bad about it. But you know, those times when you look and you're like, oh, I look good. Like I feel
Mm-hmm.
good. You know, you start to look at your body, you know, it's just like,
Right.
okay. So it's like, staying in those spaces, or even when we don't feel good, still telling yourself you're beautiful, you know, still saying like I'm enough. I might not see it right now, but you know, I feel good. Like what are some things that when you say like releasing that negative like self-image, what are like 3 things you can tell yourself?
So I would probably tell myself I am beautiful, I'm strong, and um I'm capable. So kind of like I am enough, but I I can do it basically.
Yes, I love that. But yeah, that felt good. How does that feel? Like, are you breathing? How did it feel to write it and to actually say it out loud?
um, I think like it feels good. I think a lot of the things I wrote I've been kind of mulling over recently, especially about like the one about like past relationships, and then the one about um, just comparing myself to others, which kind of goes into that last one about self image, right? It's like if you're always comparing yourself to somebody else, there's somewhere you're gonna turn up short. So um, I think it felt good, and it kind of made some connections between some of those things.
Mm-hmm. Because like in reality, people only show the good, you know, like unless you have like a really good, you know, relationship. And even then till still, I think you can live with a person and still not really truly know what's in their mindset, right? So it's just like, you know, release that. And I can, you know, I'm speaking to you, speaking to myself too, because it's like, you know, our purpose is different. Although it might seem like, you know, we in competition, but there's no competition, you know, like when God made us, when we chose, if we believe that we were chose to be here, like, you know, you asked to be here for a reason. So finding out like, you know, why are you here? What are you supposed to serve? And, you know, once you realize like what is your God's purpose and what you know, do this, like, it's like, I'm not even, you know, I can't even see anything else. I'm focused on me. I'm focused on Ashley. I'm focused, you know, I'm realizing my values. I'm realizing my purpose. I'm realizing what makes me happy. I'm realizing I'm setting those boundaries. And it's like, I'm not accepting anything else. I'm not accepting to feel any less than who I am. Because look at you. You look good. You know, you look like you care about yourself. Your hair is flourishing. You know, you married. You a wife, you know, like, you're all of the things. So don't be afraid to stand in that. Don't be afraid to pick your head up and be like, yeah, Ashley's in the room. Like, like you work hard for where you are right now, You could have gave up, you could have been so many other things, but you never gave up. So that's worth, putting your shoulders back and really coming into it. So I'm excited. I know who's in front of me. So I'm always grateful when I'm able to share space with you. So I'm excited for you.
Likewise.
Who's next?
Okay, I'll go next. Sort it first. Added some things after listening to Ashley. So the first one I had, I was like, it wasn't really a specific, what am I going to release? But it kind of encompasses multiple things. But it is mental movies. And it's something that I used to always think about. And then finally, one time, our pastor gave it a title, Mental Movies. I used to always be thinking about, when I see this person for this thing, I'm going to say this, and then they're going to do this, and then this is going to happen. And then I would go, this is not really happening. It didn't happen, and it's not going to happen like that. And then I started using the scripture, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of God. And I was like, okay, I tried doing that, but it still pops up all the time. So it's one of those things you just have to constantly go after. And actually, it's not one, it's multiple things. It could be somebody at work one day, it could be somebody in your house another day, it could be somebody at the grocery store. But stop trying to get out of that holding a whole conversation that's not happening in my head and wasting time with that. So I wrapped some of that all in one. But then might need to, what I said before, be everything to everybody or to please everybody. I've kind of lumped that together. I like to release impatience. I used to be very patient. People used to say that I was so patient. I feel like I've lost it over the years and gained impatience, and I want to get rid of that again. Frustration. I want to release frustration due to time limits. Like you can't get something done. It's like, okay, don't get frustrated. You have time, especially now with teleworking. I don't have to commute at extra time. So let go of the frustration.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I didn't want to write this one.
It's okay.
Let's see. So one child moved away, and so I can't be codependent. And the other one, I'm trying not to be codependent and go, oh, I've always got to be there at all times so that, if she walks in the room, I can be there for it's like very independent. But in my mind, I'm always the mother and always want to just be there, be in the present. I want to release, what does that say? To need to be on every Zoom call, phone call, function, everything. That ties back into some of the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
And something Ashley said that made me think. Also staying connected. Just, with some people, nobody in specific particular, but sometimes I'll think of things and I'm like, oh, I didn't call that person. Oh, I didn't do this. And I'm like, they didn't call me either. So why am I feeling this way? And I'm going to release, and I had a specific thing in mind when I wrote this one, but make excuses for others.
Ooh, that's a big one. You're so sweet.
I can't.
I can see where Ashley gets her sweetness. You're so sweet.
Yes, making excuses for others. I wanted to make a comment, but I didn't want to break in on when you all were talking.
Oh, okay.
This sounds complete opposite, but you're talking about looking in the mirror and saying, "Oh, I'm beautiful," oh, I look good, and it's funny. That comes with age. You look in the mirror and go, yeah. Just the opposite of what everybody says. But
Mhm.
as you can see, I'm comfortable for it. Like, this is
I
not.
love it.
But now it's, I I'm comfortable with. But it was a time when I was younger when I was like, oh, nose is too broad. This is too this. I don't look this way. Mm-mm. That's gone.
Right. And you sleep so much easier. It's like, look, this is me. Take me for who I am, because if I was supposed to look different, and it's like, and if there are things that you don't like about our body, we have the opportunity to change it. So then I look at myself like, if I'm not doing no sit-ups or nothing, then I might as well love it until I do something, right? So
Yeah.
that's big.
That's our society that has put on us that whole thing about get some anti-aging cream, get this, move your wrinkles. We're supposed to get those.
Mhm.
We're supposed to get gray hair. We're supposed to get certain things. And
Right.
where you came from, because you'll look and see, like me, for instance, grandparents that one grandparent just wanted her gray hair and couldn't get any, and not neither one of them did actually.
Right.
Got So, you either want it, I mean, you're going to get it. It tells you who you're connected to.
Mhm.
Texture of hair, the way your skin looks, the way your body looks. It
Mhm.
is something.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not in a rush, but there are people that like dye the gray hairs. I'm like, I can't wait. Like, again, I'm not in a rush, but once it comes, like, I'm be like, ooh, look, like,
Hmm.
I can't, I can't
Yeah.
wait. That's exciting. So, how did that feel to write it, especially when you was like, oh, I didn't really want to write the codependency, but it's like, okay, that's the truth.
Yeah, that's what I'm working on and doing better now. And I had to verbalize that. So I wrote it. And I guess this was another step to it because I had already verbalized it. I directly told her, I said, look, we can't be codependent. Like, I had the conversation a couple of times. And so I have to tell her to remind me because I'm the guilty party. I'm the guilty party that's like, I got to be there. Okay, where are you? You want to do something? Are you okay? Are you bored? And no, it's me.
And I think that's just love. And I had to like realize, and I appreciate you saying that, because I'm like, okay, well, maybe that's what my parents do. I'm like, I didn't moved out. I have a child. I think I have proven myself to be a little like self sufficient. And they still like, did you make it home? Did you do this? And I would get frustrated. And it's like, so, okay, maybe, I just, that's love.
Yeah, it doesn't go away. It doesn't. Yeah. Mhm.
No, that doesn't go away. I'm 40 years old and I still go through it. And I'm like, I be frustrated sometimes. And then she does it to my son now, and he be mad. I'm like, just roll with it.
Yes.
But
Oh,
yeah.
Mhm.
it never goes away. Let me tell you. My parents live with me, and I can be in the other room. You come back out. I was asking, "How are you? Where are you today?" I'm teleworking like
Right.
all the days.
Right. Yeah, so it's okay, mom. Just be gentle. You have to evolve to that next level of, I
Hmm.
just think that just with being a parent, I was like, ooh, I don't know. Like, I don't know how my mom do when it's time for them
You're gonna hold on.
to walk up a little bit. Because my 5-year-old came in saying, where's his lemonade? Okay. Atara, I'm ready for you for what you're releasing.
Um,
Eat myself.
I had self doubt, learning to say no without giving a reason, stop letting things or people stress me out, comparing myself to others. With, like Ashley said, with the jealousy, I see myself doing it, then I shake my head and was like, I am happy for her, but negative thinking altogether. That's my biggest thing. Um, always thinking about everything. My mind constantly goes, even when I'm sleeping. So I wake up exhausted most of the time. So I'm trying to learn how to not to think about stuff all the time. Worry about past or present. Just worry about now when it's happening. I didn't have 7, but I had 6.
That's so good because it's like, no, it's a complete sentence. Even if we, like, we don't have to explain. You can just say
Yeah.
no, and that's it. Like, no. No is no. Yeah, no. Like you heard Musa, he said no is no. Like, it just is. And normalizing it, right? Normalize not having an answer for things. And it's like, within the comparison, it's like, again, people show us the good. Okay, you guys see me. I'm back up here. Like normalizing, realizing that people show us what they want, like especially on like social media, like, and it's the Yamas and the Niyamas, and Santosha was one of the chapters, and it was saying, I forget, it was something about protecting your disturbances or something, but either way, like the friend was jealous of the other friend, and she was traveling, she was doing so much, she got to go on all these trips, and finally the friend got to go on a trip with her, and it rained the whole time, it was cold, and then the friend was like, I'm probably not jealous of you, like, it's just, what's for you is for you, so opening up, like maybe see it's okay to be inspired by somebody, but allow it to come into you. So if that looks like,
Breaking it.
if that looks like you just been like, okay, I admire that about that person,
Yeah.
but it's like, okay, God, what's for me? Like, what will make me feel fulfilled in that same way? Like, what
And
can I look at what they're doing but
yeah,
apply it to me?
well, that's the thing. It's not that I'm jealous because they have. I'm like, okay, she worked hard for that, and I'm working just as hard. When is mine's coming? It's not that I want the same thing she wants.
Mm-hmm.
I'm, you know, happy and everything. But when is mine's coming? I've done everything for everyone, including her, and she got hers before me. That's how I feel about that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We gotta make space. What can you release so that you can receive them blessings? Because everything that's supposed to bless you is right here. It's within arm's reach. So maybe that means you gotta open up. Maybe that woman who's getting everything, she actually allows people to do for her. You don't have room. What if God really gave you everything that you were supposed to get, but you too exhausted? You can't even receive it.
Yeah.
Just a thought.
I know. Didn't think of
Just a thought.
okay.
Yeah, and then I just remembered something too when Mimi has said, like, what did you say? The movies, the mind movies, like
Yeah.
we create these things in our head, and those things never happen, like, because they're not going to happen, like. So it's like, okay, what are we doing?
Yeah.
We get entitled. I try not to be like in a dark space, but I'm like, what if tomorrow never comes? How did I live my today? How did I live my yesterday? I'm just not. I'm not. And again, I know I'm human. I tell people I grieve when I'm reminded that I'm a human. Like, I really grieve sometimes when I have to have a human experience, right? But it's like, we're not exempt. But I try my hardest not to stress. I try my hardest to be grateful, because it's like, again, like, tomorrow's not promised. We go to sleep every night. I mean, of course, we may pray and say, thank you, but like, we're a little entitled. We expect to wake up tomorrow, or we expect, for everything to be. So it's like, think about it. How can I take advantage of everything? Because even if we do have a tomorrow, a next month, and a next week, we never get today again.
Yeah.
We never get today's experience. We never get to come into contact with the people in the way that we have today ever again. So it's like, okay, how am I living my everyday? Am I serving myself? Am I happy? So it's like, you know, I challenge you. You stopped at 6, so I challenge you to put at least like 20 before the year's over. How you guys feeling? Feeling kind of good? Feel a little lighter than...
A lot lighter.
Yeah.
Yay. Are you guys okay to do a meditation?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I like to call it like a chakra meditation. If you're familiar with the chakras, like our energy systems, we have many different. It's common to focus on the main 7. If you think about the colors of the rainbow, it's like that. Like your root chakra, that's the red. That's like your grounding, your protection, your stability. Like if you're not feeling stable, you don't feel safe, your root chakra can be like a little off balance. Your sacral chakra, that's the next color of the rainbow, the orange. That's your sensuality. That's below your navel. So your reproductive systems, it can be sensuality, sexuality, but also creativity. Your self-confidence is right there. Your stomach, your solar plexus, that's yellow. That's like your feelings and your emotions. Food, like if you have discomfort in your stomach, you have pain, you have indigestion, anything, like it can be that you're not dealing with your feelings. Your heart chakra, that's green, or it can be pink. That's like your love for yourself, loving others, understanding that you can open up. You loving someone can never take away from you, right? Understanding that no one has the power to take from you. Open yourself up to being loved. Your throat chakra is your speech. So communicating, like, are you a person that speaks a lot or doesn't speak at all? Actually, I opening up to the idea that sometimes it's okay to be silent, or understand that you deserve to be heard. So pushing yourself to speak more. Your third eye, that's your intuition. That's your discernment. You know, like, are you second guessing yourself? Do you look outside to other people before you answer things yourself? Or your crown chakra, that is your connection to spirit. That's your connection to God, your higher self, your whole being and existence. So when I go through each color, you kind of have an idea. That sound cool? Okay, perfect. So we're sitting down, and just kind of wiggle your body. If you need to move your neck, whatever, you need to drink some water, you need to yell real quick, go ahead and just, whatever, it feels good. To just, and as we begin to like ground yourself and to just come, whether you're sitting with your feet in the ground, if your feet are able to touch your ground, plant your feet down or sit with your legs up. I'm sitting like you were sitting, Ashley. So either way feels good. And just, you know, ground your butt. Maybe sit up if you have a pillow. Like, get comfortable. Be unapologetic about this space of being about you right now. So whenever you're ready, you can drop your glaze. I said glaze. I'm hungry. You drop your gaze and just close your eyes. And we're going to do 3 deep cleansing breaths. And as we inhale, we're going to inhale on a 1, 2, 3. You're going to hold for a count of 3. And we're going to release with 7. But when we come to the exhale, I want you to actually like, like actually vocally exhale, okay? So whenever you're ready, we're going to inhale. And exhale. Remember to breathe in love, breathe in light, breathe in peace, breathe in whatever feels good to you. And in your exhale, anything that doesn't feel good, okay? So continue to do the last 2 inhales and exhales on your own time. And just continue to breathe. And as you're breathing, at any moment you feel that your breath is coming and it's unnatural, just take that deep breath. And if you have an essential oil near you, lavender, serenity, any type of adaptive, if you're into essential oils, you can smell them, peppermint, whatever, when you're coming to breathing, if you just can't catch that breath. But as you bring a steady breath, bring your energy to your root chakra, to your feet and beyond, and visualize the whole color red to cover your space. Allow this red to go around your body, through your body, however feels the best, to just enhance red. Feel yourself being grounded. Feel yourself being protected more than ever. Feel yourself just feeling stable within self without needing the addition to anyone else. You are protected. You are whole. You are safe. And breathe. Feel this energy moving to your sacral space. And at this space, you can kind of be still if you need to move and open your hips. But speak love to your womb. We as women hold so much of our trauma, so much of our pain, so much of our stress. Just feel how we're sitting down. Like even if you slouch, everything kind of just goes to your hips and your sitting space. And just give yourself permission to breathe. Give yourself permission to forgive yourself for any choices that you've made in your life and to feel your strength. To know that you're more than capable of trusting yourself. You are creative. Give yourself permission to let go of that writer's block. Whatever blockages you've been feeling in your life, know that it's all internal. There's not one person that's standing in front of us with a wall or with a door locked to say that we cannot enter into the next level of self. So embrace yourself and go ahead and turn that key and walk into whatever it is that you're needing. And allow your body to just be filled with the color orange. Whatever hue feels the best to you. Visualize this. Feel your womb being healed. Feel your womb being restored. And just fill it with love. And as you allow your energy to move up to your stomach, visualize the color yellow. And just gently just give your body permission to heal. Give your body permission to digest. And give yourself permission to feel, whatever that looks like. Let go of trying to categorize your feelings. And know that every feeling that you feel is necessary. Every moment of being uncomfortable is necessary for your growth in your existence. Feel joy in letting go of fear. Letting go of that mindless chatter in your mind that is self-sabotaging. That fear that never comes true because it never exists. Fear doesn't exist. It only we make it real. So gently be gentle to yourself and love yourself enough to know that you are protected, you are safe, you are creative, you are exactly where you're supposed to be right now. And then just visualize yourself throwing out any fear, anything that you've been fearing of this week. Everything that works out in your favor. Everything is here to help us. God would never put anything on us that we can't handle. And breathe. Feel your energy go into your heart space. And if you want to be interactive, you can touch your heart on your left side, above your breast, and just breathe into this space. Gently engage. Feel your heart opening. Maybe you can even feel it beating, like you are here. Your mind may be so many other places, but your body is right here. Understand that you opening up yourself to others is only a way of enhancing yourself. Only you can benefit from it. No one has the power to take anything from you that you're not willing to give. And stand on it. Stand on your boundaries. And be unapologetic within it. And breathe. Feel the energy moving up to your throat space and visualize the color blue. And breathe into this space. Forgive yourself for any moment that you didn't speak up. Forgive yourself for any moment that you silenced yourself. Know that you deserve to be heard. You deserve to be understood. And you also deserve to be silent. Release any time that you feel like you have to listen to respond, and actually just listen to gather. And breathe into that space. Look forward to speaking up. Look forward to speaking your truth. Look forward to speaking love, speaking peace. Whatever it is that is going to make you feel your best self and being higher than you've ever been. being healthy as you ever been peaceful. Whatever it is that you are searching and journeying into, find space in it, create space for it, and breathe. Breathe the energy to your third eye in between your brows. And if you want to tap on it, just awaken it. Bring your eyes in between your brows. And as you look in between the space, visualize the color purple and allow it to just be into your entire space. Maybe since you tapped in between your eyes, you're able to see color right there. Release any indecisiveness. Trust in yourself that your discernment is strong. Let go of your connection to having to ask for someone else's opinion or having to ask someone else for an answer that you're more than capable of answering within yourself. And breathe. Know that you deserve to be understood within yourself. You deserve to trust yourself. You deserve to feel safe. And you deserve to breathe. Feel the energy move to your crown chakra above your head and visualize the color white. Visualize a white light starting above your head and coming through your body, through your feet and beyond. Notice that this white light that has started above you is able to go freely through your body. It didn't stop. It didn't turn. It was able to be straight right through. Visualize your light getting brighter and brighter and brighter. Visualize this white light going through your body, through your throat, through your heart, through your stomach, through your sacral area, to your feet and beyond. Now begin to dim that light. See that the power that you have within, no one has the power to dim your light. No one has the power to take any power from you. You are in control. You notice that your bright light did not turn off. It didn't stop. It didn't fall out of your body because you are restored. Feel yourself being whole. Feel yourself being full. Feel yourself replacing any emptiness that you may have created in our exercise when we were letting go of things. Take a moment to think about all the ways that you can be grateful for your existence. Know that you deserve that. You deserve everything that is still to come. And take a moment to breathe. As we take gentle 3 inhales and exhales, start to bring awareness to your body as you're breathing. Notice if there's anything in your body that feels uncomfortable, if there's any pain. Send love to these spaces. If you want to touch it and say, I give you permission to feel better. Tell your body, I give you permission to be okay. I give you permission to be whole. I give you permission to be safe. I give you permission to be without worry. I give you permission to be without pain. And once you come to your final gentle inhale and exhale, just kind of put your hands around your body and give yourself a hug. Give yourself a nice squeeze. And vocally say, thank you, body. Thank you, body. And just thank yourself for not giving up. You could have been so many other places tonight, and you decided to journey and to focus on yourself. So that deserves a good hug, and even go further and pat yourself on the back. When is the last time you patted yourself on the back? Like, good job. Whatever feels good to just self-affirm yourself. Yes, Ashley, that's a good stretch. But thank you. I trust that the love within me is extending to the love within yourself, and that you will continue to feel whole. And if not, if any moment you find yourself being less than or just not feeling your best self, that you will write down or go to your list of what made you happy. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You guys feeling good? Was that okay? Wasn't too boring to like fall asleep or anything?
No.
Yes. Was there any color that was hard for you guys to see at all?
No.
Maybe the blue.
Okay. Where did your mind go with the blue? That's okay. You don't have to tell me. But think about it. Whatever color that was hard for you to see, that was hard to connect with, it's like, okay, how can I apply that to my life? Like, what is it that I could be resisting?
I mean, it makes sense because that one's the throat chakra, and
Mm-hmm.
I always struggle with that. It's like, yep, always second guessing myself, I guess.
Yeah. So with that, wearing blue. Forgive me if I'm a little colorblind. Is that blue? Your sweater that you have on?
I think so.
Or is
It's
that green?
bluish green. It's like
Okay. Okay. Look at you unconsciously already tapping in because you're in a space to speak tonight, right? You're in a space of power as always. And it's like, wear blue. Wear blue socks. Wear blue undies. Eat blueberries. Whatever it is. There's so many different ways that it's like, okay, get some peppermint. Rub on your throat. Like,
I have some.
mm-hmm. I enjoyed you guys. Thank you for letting me talk your head off.
No, thank you.
Next.
All right. So, thank you all again for joining the different breakout sessions. I think we technically we're done, but we wanted to leave some time for any last minute questions or comments that anyone wants to make.
I know Ebony gave her Instagram. Brea, can I have yours as well? Or for like an Instagram or contact or
Yeah, we can definitely plug everybody at the end of this.
oh, she just has to unmute.
I guess Ebony or Brea, did you want to make any closing comments or announcements about your different sessions?
Um, um, like just in general.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I think it went great. I had, I felt a flow. Um, we had a great conversation afterwards. Just like sharing the experience, and I was able to push myself during my facilitation of the sound ball, so that felt good to do that. And yeah, I think it was awesome. I told them that while I was doing the sound experience, for some reason the most consistent affirmation that comes up for me is I am safe, and that usually comes up when I'm working with people who look like me. Um, so I just wanted to offer that to you all. I don't know if anybody is feeling unsafe in their bodies as black and brown bodies, but I just wanted to say that you are safe in your body, and anxiety cannot dictate or tell you otherwise.
That's great. Brea, did you have anything to close?
I'll just say that I'm grateful for this space. And just a gentle reminder that, every day is you have an opportunity to start over. So releasing your connection to the right now within being present, finding the balance of being in the now, but also not taking everything so serious, because it's like we have an idea to make goals, and we can kind of choose certain things, but just trusting that our higher source will give us everything we need. So if we wanted to go right, but you're feeling a pull to go left, kind of listen to yourself. So continue to like Ebony was saying, like trust yourself and feel safe, and find the grounding within yourself to just know exactly what it is that you need.
Mhm.
I'm grateful. I feel good
Mhm.
being in this space. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and I want to thank you both again for just joining in here and um, participating in this series that we built. I think both of these women, Brea and Ebony, they are, Black professionals. They are Black entrepreneurs. So another part of this is just, lifting up those people within our community that we can support, especially during this time. So, um, Jasmine, you mentioned giving out their Instagrams. If you can go ahead and announce that, and then
I know I put one in the chat, but I don't know if everybody can see it. But I put Ebony's is Ebony Black with one as the L, and then Bria's is Moon. I feel like I'm not saying that
Musa
right.
Moon.
Musa Moon.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put Ebony's in here just in case it only showed up in my original one. But yeah. So I think tis all. I feel like there was another question I had, but I'm gonna leave it.
It'll come up if the spirit says it'll come back.
That's what I was gonna say. I was like, today's Giving Tuesday, so another also big thing to support if you can. Just think of things. Since we mentioned that real quick, I thought I should also encourage the fact that it's Giving Tuesday.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yes, so give where you can. Obviously, we all have different means, but a part of making this series free is this is something that we want to give to you all. But if you can support someone else in another way that's significant, we encourage you to do so.
Yes.
All right. Well, if for the participants, are there any other last minute questions or comments or feedback?
I wanted to say, with the Giving Tuesday, I am like feeling called, and I put something on social media. But if any of you guys know like a mom or a child that I could kind of sponsor for this season, if you know like a child that's in need or children in need, if you can just send me a message, and I would love to put things together and gather things. So that's something that I'm looking for someone to be able to support.
Mhm.
Just as a participant, I would like to say thank you for the opportunity and the session. It was excellent. Thank you.
Thanks, John. All right. If there's nobody else that has anything they'd like to share, we just want to thank you again for spending, this better half of your evening with us, and we hope that you learned something today, that you feel like you're leaving here a little bit lighter than when you came, and we hope that you'll join us for some of our future events. So stay tuned. All right.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.